Well, I've got 10:03, so let's go ahead and get started. You should be able to see my shared screen with the business builder background. We appreciate you being here and joining us this today for our Business Builder Speaker Series. The Business Builder Speaker Series was an idea born out of the COVID days when we couldn't get together in person. We said, let's get together on Zoom one day a month, and we'll bring on an industry leader to give tips and tricks to real estate agents to help them grow their real estate business. And we've been doing it monthly since March of 2020. We appreciate you being here. We know that you're busy and are grateful that you're sharing your time with us today. And to make the most of your time, we encourage you to ask questions. We're a small group, so you can unmute and just shout them out, or you can use the chat box. If you've missed previous episodes, we record our Business Builder Speaker series. We clean them up, add credits and theme music, make them professional. We post them on our YouTube site, and we link to them under the resource tab on our Schaeferitz and Dean website. And we encourage you to join us on all the socials and stay connected with us. In case you missed it, this is a list of our Business Builder Speaker Series guests for year to date, and you'll find all of our Business Builder Speaker videos on our website. Mark your calendar, the third Wednesday every month. Next month will be September 17th at 10 a.m. And at that time, we'll welcome Elise Carden, a financial educator, licensed representative on financial education for real estate professionals on how money works. She has taught this class to a number of individual real estate brokers and gotten really good feedback for the information she's presented to the agents. And that'll be Wednesday, September 17th at 10 a.m. This month, we're delighted to introduce to you Steve Forren, the owner of North Georgia Visual Forensics. It's professional real estate photography and drone services can help you close your sale higher and faster. And I'd like to turn it over to Steve now. Steve, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and allow you to share yours.
Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Good, Steve. Thank you for being our guest today.
Uh, Now, bear with me. Technology is pretty good, but sometimes it doesn't like working for me. So just bear with me for a second. I'll make sure I get this doing right. All right. Can everybody see that? We're good?
I do. It
All
looks
right.
great.
Awesome. I was invited to come in and talk to y'all guys, talk to everybody about some real estate photography, some services provided, specifically talking about, like listing photography, drones, and some other technology, Matterport, 3D walkthroughs, things like that. I encourage anybody to just ask questions as they come up. Trust me, I don't mind getting stopped at any point because if you're like me, sometimes when you got a question, it's easier uh, to go ahead and ask it then because by the time the squirrel runs through your brain, you don't really remember it in about 20 minutes. So, um, let's see. So, biggest thing is why you want to hire a photographer. I know a lot of people, especially with the phones we have nowadays, I mean, the phones absolutely take wonderful pictures. However, sometimes just setting up for the right shot or getting the lighting right and stuff like that's a little bit more difficult off the phone. Plus, getting your walls and everything straight as you go. So, the biggest reason is you want to just make sure it presents your property at their best and drives engagement and increases views, especially today's digital forward world because everybody wants to look at everything online. We're looking at retiring up in Western North Carolina, and a day doesn't go by that my wife doesn't send me listings up there showing me different houses and pictures and all that stuff. So I mean, everybody looks at that stuff nowadays. But most of the time, photos are absolutely the first impression that people see of the place, and a quality photo communicates that it's a very nice looking structure as well as structurally sound, and hopefully helps them envision themselves inside that home before they ever book the appointment to come look at it. Um, again, just kind of trying to make it inviting, good lighting, good composition for your photos, showing the different features of your space. I know everybody has used photography and has been doing it for years and years while they've been doing their listings. But just some examples of just saying, hey, here a good composed piece with some good lighting, kind of showing the different features. The biggest thing you have nowadays is like aerial photography, and aerial photography's, absolutely wonderful way to show off a property, whether it's from a little small place to one like this one. This is a job that I did about a year or so ago. Um, you know, it gives the aerial photography gives them a little bit more unique perspective because it shows the views around kind of the setting that it's in. We're able to show the acreage or lot dimensions without just looking at a picture and trying to guess. Proximity to amenities or landmarks that's nearby, as well as your roof lines and slope terrain. A lot of times we find them building everything up on hillsides nowadays. Um, with uh, with that, it's hard to go street level view and get a really good front facing view showing the property itself without getting the real long hill going up to it. So drones, they allow you to get up and get a really good first coming soon pic or whatever of showing that property. Um, with the new regulations and everything else with FAA, all if you're doing a drone, you have to be fully licensed with FAA Part 107 compliance. Your drones have to be licensed. They have little numbers on them, just like tail numbers on an airplane, that I have to have registered. Um, you also have to have remote ID, so that broadcasts your position when you're operating in airspace. So everybody's safe because you unfortunately over the years with drones and either recreational or commercial before a lot of these come into place, um, you end up having drone strikes on medical helicopters and some other stuff in different spaces. So this kind of lets everybody knows where you're at. Talking about showing amenities, this is a good picture showing the pool house. This is a community in Swanee, not far from y'all's office in Swanee, showing the expansive green space that they've got as part of the community. There's no really other good way to show this other than use of aerial photography. Um, same thing with showing the surrounding areas. Like the one house up there on the right. It's showing us right beside where the pool house and the tennis courts are, which is good for some people. The one on the bottom, that house is in the middle of about 10 acres, and so you see you don't have a neighbor for miles around out here in the bottom right. Or hey, got a cul-de-sac. Hey, which house in the cul-de-sac am I looking at? So you can kind of see how the area and kind of the layout is with that. Um, showing estimated boundary lines. If you got a picture similar to the one up on the left, it's just you got five houses. Which house you're looking at? Okay, you might be able to guess down to which one it is, but how far back does the property go? You really don't know. What I do as part of the services at no additional fees is we get a kind of rough lot line and we'll put in a rough estimation, dim it down so you kind of see, okay, based on this with the property, um, you know, how big is your lot or how big is the lot or space that you have. And it gives a very good visual representation of what the prospective buyer is actually looking at. Um, Same thing here. Again, this is that one, the house in the cul-de-sac. It's a pretty good lot, shaped like a pie, goes all the way to, there's a creek in the back where the power lines are. It's kind of a rough estimation of the property. Um, Other things too here is like roof elevations. A lot of times you can't see the roof or different elevations, and some features are not easily visible from the ground. The one in the lower right, there's actually in the back right hand side back there, there's like a sunroom and a greenhouse and like a big atrium um, area in the back that you can see looking at it from the ground, but not as well as how actually big the property is, as well as it shows the house, the pool layout, the little pool house, and all that stuff, and playhouse. So it gives a good idea of how the property is actually laid out. Okay, there we go. All right. Another thing that you see a lot nowadays and people are asking for is schematic floor plans. A lot of your homes that have been built, you know, longer than the past several years, you don't have a floor plan. Well, how do you get one? Okay, you can go and draw it, um, get it done, but it gives buyers or prospective buyers a very good visual representation of the space as well as dimensions. A lot of people start trying to figure out where they're going to place furniture and all that stuff, especially if the house is very serious about. But it gives them a very good understanding of the overall layout and the relationship, and we've seen, you know, some research done. They've done like 49% of home buyers, they found it very useful when you're reviewing listings online. And the floor plans we got are, I mean, they're very detailed. Again, they're within 2 to 4 inches. Typically, they're usually within about 2 inches, based on the way they're set up, because it's kind of hard to get them as built with the dimensions of the thickness of the drywall, wall coverings, and some things like that. But that does get us really close representation. Same way here, just the one on the left will be your kind of first floor, and this is your second floor, showing your stairways and your second floor living area. So it just kind of lays out everything nice and uh, compact there, so you can see just how the house is laid out. Any questions so far? I know I've been kind of going through this thing pretty quick, but there's really not a whole lot we can, uh, you
Steve,
know.
I thought some of the way you dim down the surrounding areas with the aerial, I thought that was really helpful in showing property boundaries and lot lines. And I'm also impressed with the floor plans. Are you able to generate those from your photography, using the Matterport camera,
Yeah,
things like
I
that?
use the Matterport, or I can hand sketch it and then hand draw 'em. Matterport ends up tending to be a little quicker with that, and which I was going to get into Matterport in a second, but that's a good question. So I can hand draw them, and then turn them into something like this with a hand draw. Um, the Matterport, though, when you do that, it will do it. There's actually another one out there. I haven't used it yet, but I've talked to some other folks who are using it. I think it's called like Kubicasa, that actually do it off of their phone. They do it, kind of scan it off their phone, and it will do something similar to this. But again, it's still within several inches difference. The Matterport's going to get you the closest. They're saying they're within about a half inch margin of error most of the time.
And I
Because
realize I jumped the gun. We haven't gotten to the
nope, you are
Matterport
fine.
yet,
You are
but
perfectly fine.
I thought I agree with the NAR statistic that 49% of buyers find floor plans to be extremely useful. And I was curious how you went about doing it, and understand you will either hand draw it or use the data from the Matterport, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Matterport section.
Yeah.
But go ahead and press on. Thank you, Steve.
Um, I mean, you did a good segue into it, talking about the Matterport tours. I don't know how many of y'all have used Matterport, or there's another one out there, DocuSketch. I think there's two or three different other ones. Um, personally, I've used DocuSketch and Matterport. I find I'm more geared towards Matterport personally. I think it provides a better walk through, flow through experience, like I'll show you guys here in a few, as compared to a DocuSketch. With a DocuSketch, you click and it'll go in the room and it does a 360 picture in that room, but you can't truly walk through the house similar to what you do with a Matterport. So, again, earlier I talked about today's digital first market. Well, the Matterport 3D tours, it's basically the next best thing being there. I mean, you're literally physically walking through, and I'll show you this. Um, they can look around the property 360, they can go back, look at it as many times as they want. I will show you in a few minutes with that how you can actually go through and measure rooms, measure windows. If somebody, prospective buyers want to, that far into the process and wants to try to figure out how to do window treatments, they can do that. It just basically tells the whole story of the property. So the good thing about Matterport, it's a full 360 navigation from any device. It's a room by room walkthrough, and it's seamless across your mobile, your tablet, your desktops. So it works great. And it's wonderful for remote buyers, and especially the higher end listings. Um, the newer cameras that are out there, I'll show you here in a minute, where you can actually do the outside. I've got one that I did not long ago on an insurance job, but it shows the lake in the background, which you can actually stand there and look around the lake, which is pretty cool. So when you go into Matterport, one of the first things it'll do, this is what they call a dollhouse view. So it'll kind of give you a rough dollhouse view of the layout, how it does. Um, Now with the Matterports as well, you can have still images like this. Here again, here's the one with the dollhouse view showing the yard with the lake, and with the dollhouse view, let's just show you right here. All right, now let me see if I can go back to sharing the other screen here. Hang on one second. I apologize for that.
While you're doing that, I'll throw out a little information about Matterport, and you tell me if I say it incorrectly. It takes you move the camera through the house at about 3 foot intervals, and every 3 feet it takes a 360-degree picture of the room, and you walk through the house with the camera every few feet. And once you've completed it, the computer stitches all of the 360-degree images together, which makes that's how you can do the sort of virtual walkthroughs, things like that. Anything I
Yeah.
missed in describing it?
No, I mean, the newer cameras, you're exactly right with the older cameras. The older cameras, you had to go usually about 3 to 4 foot intervals. The newer camera, um, let me back up. The older cameras, you could actually do this outside, but it was done as a 360 view, which I'll show you. 360 camera view. The newer ones with the LiDAR technology and stuff that it's got in it, you can actually go further distances between, but will also show further distances between camera positions. But you're right, it does a full 360 pan all the way around, and you can go in and pull like short videos and stuff out of it. It'll give you like a short little walkthrough video with it, usually about 15-20 second clips. I don't know if everybody can see this screen looking at the lake.
It's a lovely lake view with a
Yeah.
beautiful boathouse.
So this is done with the Matterport, showing the house. Um, and this one I did for an insurance adjuster. So it's more along the lines of getting the house and stuff like that. I wasn't worried about the views, but for doing it for a real estate listing, I'd pull the camera down here a little further. That way you get a little bit better view coming back towards the house and the situation around. But as these things work, what you can do is you see this little circle, so to speak, that's moving around with my mouse. These will tell you about where camera positions are, and you'll see when you go into the house the different camera positions. So you can actually literally walk, and then from there do your 360 view as you go around. So every little little subdued circle is going to be a camera position. Okay. Let me go to this other one because that one didn't have a whole lot in the house. Unfortunately, it had a insurance loss, but the view is absolutely amazing. So give me 1 second. Let me get this other one pulled up. All right. So this is one for real estate. I did. So you see, you can look around. Well, everywhere there's a dude on the floor, you go, and there's another camera position. You can walk through, look in the bathrooms. Um, again with this, kind of do like you do when you're doing photography, try to get your camera position out of the so that's not what you're looking at when you're looking in the bathroom. But you can look up, look down, floor coverings, everything. Now, if I wanted to go again, everywhere there's a little spot on the floor. Um, but like right here, if you wanted to measure, say, this wall to see how far it is, whether you're trying to figure out whether your furniture will fit, go to measurements down here on the bottom. Come on, come on. There we go. Hit the little plus button here. And it will measure your walls. You could do the same thing with doors, things like that. So if you want, say you had a L constructed by an L-shaped couch, this allows them to do that. Matterport will allow them to do this particular thing here. Let's see, trash. So, but again, like going upstairs, just like you're walking up the stairs. Some little bonus rooms. Now, this was with my older camera. The newer camera will actually do the scan outside, but in the older versions, you see how it says 360 here, you go here, and I would take 360 showing the backyard. And then same way with going up towards the front. I should have one up front. Yeah. But technology is amazing anymore. The things that these things will do. Um, but as again, as you can see, it's just like you're just walking through the whole house. Now, some of the other platforms, they might have a camera position here and here. You can click and go from room to room, but it just gives you kind of a 360 around, not so much as a walkthrough. Um, master, even for like the master bath. So the technology nowadays, like I said, is just absolutely amazing. And the things that this thing will do, like I said, when it does this, it'll scan and then you can get the floor plans off of that. Um, and just kind of go from there. These are really great, especially if you got your higher end with like you was talking about hanging out in the pool. If you had a house with a pool and really nice backyard, this would be a good way to showcase all that, not only with your still images, but you could actually walk through it for the most part. Let's see. Go back here. Hang on, apologize. Okay, I think we're back. Mhm. Okay. Um, as I hit way too many buttons too fast. But again, like you was talking with the camera, going to camera positions, it will turn around and show, that's how it develops and pulls these out. And because the whole time the camera's moving, it's taking measurements. That's why you're able to measure walls, windows, and things like that. Yes, I don't. As of right now, my company, I don't offer the videos yet, like the video walkthroughs. The editing with that tends to be a little. I haven't found somebody to edit those for me to my liking, so I've just refrained from offering that service right now. Um, has anybody got any questions?
The the advances in the photography have just been astounding over the past few years. How aerial photography, drone photography, I don't think we would have pictured that 10 years ago, and now it's fairly common. And likewise, I don't think we had Matterports maybe 10 years ago, and now we can take it. We're on to newer generations that offer even more services that have the virtual walkthroughs, the ability to take measurements. So it's just been amazing to see the increase in technology we've had in the photography side of real estate in a fairly short period of time.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit on the drones and like the Matterport, and the cameras getting better all the time with those. DJI just come out with a new version of their drone that's got like 4K and video, and they've got these things where they'll track. They've got a new little smaller one that I'm kind of wanting to get to play with, that you can actually, it will follow you, so you could actually walk and do like the videos through the house and stuff like that. But even, when I started shooting photography 30 years ago, it was film, and I used to shoot a lot of black and white surroundings, landscape stuff. And so I used to spend a lot of time in the dark room and absolutely loved it. And then came the DLSR type cameras, the digital cameras. Um, but now they even got the mirrorless ones, and the mirrorless ones are great because you're able to get more in the frames, instead of like, 2/3 or on the frame size. You got to go wider on your lens, wider on your aperture to get more of the room. If you look at like one of the earlier pictures, trying to get at least several walls in a room. With the new mirrorless cameras, are full frame, so they're seeing everything that there's no crop sensors in them, so you're seeing everything that's in the lens. So you're able to get more, wider shots, and the pixel size and the clarity on the mirrorless cameras are amazing compared, and that's just within the last several years, that they've really made those cost effective to come down to the average person be able to buy one. Um, if you take a mirrorless image as opposed to a DLSR image, you can clearly tell, the clarity and the difference.
We had a question through the chat box. Are there any other enhancements that you see in the upcoming future? And how do you see AI playing a role in photography as well?
AI and photography, you know, I I haven't dabbled that much with AI and photography. I think the AI, my daughter's has played with that a little bit. I got a daughter's getting married, and she's been doing some pictures and stuff, and she's been pulling them out and putting them into AI, to do like a regular still pictures, like watercolor and stuff like that. And it's absolutely amazing. And I think, especially if you have a house that is, basically vacant at the time you're selling it. A lot of times you can go in, you can virtually stage it so people would have an idea where, furniture and stuff like is. I think AI will definitely play a big role with that. I think you could go in and say, hey, I would like it to have this, this, and this, and it will put it in there for you. As far as the editing the photos and things like that, I'm sure AI would play into that. I haven't played with that enough to see, but it's almost like everything else. I mean, kids are using it to write papers. Everybody's using it professionally now, and I think AI is going to be coming to enhance these things. But I think the typical, lack of a better word, boots on the ground photographer, real estate agent, things like that, you're going to still have the physical people there to take these to feed them in to the computer for AI to do its thing.
Steve, do you have any experience with virtual staging? If you've got a house that's vacant and you do your photography or your Matterport with digitally staging a couch, throw rugs, things like that.
The photography, yes, Matterport, you can't digitally stage Matterport. What it sees
Okay,
is what it captures.
right.
As far as virtual staging of houses, yes, I've had some clients request that. Um, and so we can do that. Um, but it just kind of depends on, what they want and things like that. To what you can physically do with it.
All right. Thank you, Steve. A great question. Thank you for throwing that out. Any other questions? If not, I'll go ahead and draw it to a close. Steve, thank you for sharing your time and your expertise with us today. Well, I want to thank each of you for taking time joining us today. We will clean up our video, put some credits and music, post it to the YouTube channel, and we'll send you a link when it's ready. Um, It'll also be linked to on our website, so you can check there as well. So, Steve, thank you for your expertise today. And those that joined us today, thank you for spending your time with us. We appreciate it, and we'll let you know when the video is ready. And remember to join us next month, Wednesday, September 17th, 10 a.m., with Elise Carden on understanding money for real estate agents. Thanks again and have a great day.